Hello, everyone. My phone's at a tilted angle, but yeah, I feel like honestly sarcastic recording a video in my car because I'm waiting for my laundry to dry at the laundromat because our dryer broke and the part that we need to fix it is like there's a huge shortage of them. So I we have to go to the laundromat to dry our laundry. um, So yeah, I wanted to talk about the meta. Just give some quick thoughts. This meta is probably going to end up being pretty short because the two-player game is going to come out, but it's going to be impactful because there's four big events this month. There's the December League Top Cut, which happens every month, but it's still like a major competitive event, I'd say. There's the Invitational. There is the St. Louis Regional, and there is the Galactic Opens. I will not be making St. Louis, but I'll be playing in both the Top Cats. The Top Cat and the Invitational, and I'll probably make one of the Galactic Opens. We'll see. Um, so yeah, this meta is interesting to say the least. I don't know if I'd say it's like a super diverse meta. It's certainly not the most diverse meta we've ever had. There's not like a ton of things that can compete, but there are a lot. Um, so here are my top five picks. And Beacon Fire, if you're watching this, don't mean I'm going to be playing any of these events, but these are like I think the decks again I think are really strong in no particular order. First would be Hero Sports, specifically the 6-die version with Senator, Pilot, and Smuggler. I think honestly this was the best deck last format, and it didn't get touched at all by the balance. Um, the only things that it has trouble with are like decks that can it probably has trouble if like you can kill the center round one and prevent them from ramping too much. It has trouble with um, Mill sometimes, but it was actually able to beat Mill. It was like I think the only deck that I was able to consistently beat Mill with last format. But now we don't have to worry about the stupid 4 wide thing. So all the Mill decks are gonna be slightly worse. But I still think it's good into them. Like Mill isn't off the table. I don't think I'd put it in my top five. But like Luminar Padawans is still it's still a viable deck. You just don't get Path to Mastery, which does hurt it, but not by that much. So that I think is definitely a real contender. It's in my top five, maybe it's sixth. I don't know. It's up there. It's good. I don't know how many people are gonna play it because I think people generally don't like to play Mill. There's a few people that will. Um, like Random Endo, Turkey might play it. Although he might be on Gideon. We'll see. There's gonna be Mill around, and it's good enough to make top tables. That's for sure. Moving on, the next one would be Akbar. Akbar is really strong. Mad Pack is really good with him. BB-8 is really good with him. Bad Batch is really good with him. He got a lot from the new set, and he was already really good. So expect to see Akbar's. He the problem with the deck is, and it kind of always has been, is that it's hard to roll well on your X-Wings. Because those things are not, like, the most consistent dice. Like, they do a lot of damage, but if you need to kill a character, they really only have, like, 2 sides that actually help you kill characters. Because indirect side, even if it's, like, 3 or 4, like, you much rather it be 3 or 4 ranged. And one of those is a pay side. And not the fancy indirect pay sides, but an actual pay side. Uh, so Akbar can be tough, but he's good. He's really good. Expect to see him a lot. Next up is Pirates, which Beacon Fire's been playing a lot. I've played it a bit. Malak has played it a bit. It's good. It's a good deck. It has trouble because there's not that many good things in Yellow Villain to play as win cons. You're trying to rely on like Elite Mercenary, which is good in that deck. If you can get up to 3 resources, it's good. It's a good card. And then like whatever like 1-drop value stuff you can get with like the Pirate Crew member. You're running like Ugly sometimes, pirate ships, and then Pirate Slug Throwers. So it's it's a bit low to the ground, but if you can flip the plot, it's baller. That plot is really good. And Beckett is really good. And it's got a lot of health. It's just a good value deck. I don't know like if it's that popular outside of like the EG circles, but but it's good. So if you want like a surprise deck that can like, and I think it can beat the 6 die deck also, in the right circumstances because it has DM and it has like the ability to disrupt them. Uh, so yeah, it's definitely a good deck. Uh, be ready for it. Yeah. Moving on, we have let's see. Oh, we have Blue Hero. Blue Hero is still really good, and it got a lot from the new set. The card that lets you play an ability from the discard is really good. Atari Mastery is really good. Bendu's Foresight is actually really good because I didn't actually realize this on Bendu's Foresight until today, but you can do it on 2 different dice. It doesn't have to be on the same die. um, it's like I was playing Lanza and he like hit me and was like, all right, he rerolled a die and I rolled a blank, and then he was like, oh, I'll just do it again on a different die, and he ended up removing it. So like it just makes it that much better. Um, and also Path to Mastery. It's a really good card. I've had a ton of fun with Cal Mundi. I think Anakin Mundi is also really good. It was great last format. It didn't really get any worse. So those 2 decks, big, good. Um, be ready for those, and they're strong. They can do a lot. I'm not a huge fan of them because I like more. I like 3 wide. I like the ability to like gain a ton of money. That's kind of why Cal Mundi's appealed to me because that deck makes a lot of money. I was playing Lanza earlier today. He got 6 upgrades down round 1. It was like 2. It was like 4 of them were 1 drops. It was like one. It was like an even training, a BD1, like 2 sacred texts. But he also had like I think he had like two big weapons, because he was able to. He had like an Ahsoka saber and an Anakin saber, I think. Um, so that deck makes money because should be like Cal realistically should be online turn 1 basically every game, unless your opponent goes hard and removes your resource dice, in which case you're probably winning anyway. So yeah, Cal is big. Unless, or the other thing could happen is you don't draw your equipment, which because you only have 4 equipment and 2 of them are bad. So yeah, but with 2 Force Affinities, like you're playing a 28 card deck, realistically a bit less than that. So yeah, it's it's a good deck, and if you can get your Cal online turn 1, it goes hard, and if you can roll money, it goes even harder. So big fan of Cal. I'm so glad he's good now. Yeah, and it could actually that deck could sometimes beat Mill last format. So yeah, definitely like be on the lookout for Blue Hero. Let's see, is that 5? Oh, the other 1 deck that I kind of wanted to mention is Cassian Sports. It's like Elite Senator, Grief, and Cassian. It's super fun. It's also super draw dependent and super. It's not super roll dependent, but it's weak. It's weak to certain things. Like there are times, especially against disrupt like decks that have disrupt sides. They just roll a disrupt side. You might not get to play your thing turn 1, and if you don't get to play your thing turn 1, then you're kind of you're way behind. But that deck when it goes, like, ooh. If you can like reset an Outrider or a Bad Batch, even like a BB-8 on turn 1, it does a lot. And like Cassian finally good. The stupid combat droid decks we played against him were never that good. They were okay, but they were mostly like a fun thing. But yeah, Cassian is good now. The Cassian sports deck. I don't think it's as good as like the 6-die hero, or it's probably not as good as Akbar even. But it's good. It's definitely competitive. So yeah, be ready for it. I don't know how much you can do to prepare for it. Just like I don't know. So the big things, big tips if you want to be prepared against the meta. Number 1, pack DMs. DM is good against basically everything in the meta right now except Blue Hero. So yeah, pack DMs. I would suggest maybe cutting binds if you're running Blue Hero. Maybe cutting Merchant Freighter if it's your only support, or at least like not playing it against most decks, or against like yellow villain decks. So yeah, bring DM. There's other stuff that can hit supports. Most of it is not good. If you're playing like a big blue hero deck, run move along because it can exhaust a whole character against the 6 die deck, which that's good. It's really good. Um, so yeah, like I think Ahsoka Senator, uh, I think like GameSlayer played it at the release event. It's a decent deck. Um, it can do a lot of damage. So yeah, uh, move along is good if you can run it. Most decks can't, and the decks that can probably aren't that good. But if you're like a big Mace fan or an Ahsoka fan, then be sure you're packing move alongs. Uh, yeah, there's a big text. You can run like Norman Norman in the Entourage Gaming channel, like Discord channel. He made like a whole separate channel for like tech against the 6 die deck, and it's just like a bunch of things that blow up supports. Um, so there's like 7 cards out there that blow up supports. Most of them are bad though. So yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty ridiculous deck. Because you have the center discards. You're basically your opponent's playing with a 4-card hand, and you're playing with 6 dice, and they're all like good dice. Like I mean, the pilot dice are kind of shit, but not that much. They have a 2 side and a resource side, which is really all you need. Um, so yeah, like if I had to say, if you had to ask me like what like the deck to beat was right now, I'd say it's the 6 die deck. Um, and there are decks that beat it, so I don't think it's impossible, but it's a really really good deck. Um, yeah. Yeah. We've gotten some spoilers for spot glosses at the Canobite kits. The Rex one, I'm not gonna be able to make that one, and I'm so sad because the Rex one looks beautiful. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm working that morning, so I can't. I can't make the one where you get the Rex blaster for participating. But yeah, we got Vizsla, Bosk. There's Padme. They all look really good. Dooku. But yeah, super excited for that. I'm super excited for the 2-player kit. We haven't really gotten much info about it, but um, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Um, yeah, I think we're running a tournament. I don't think we're running one. Well, no, we didn't run one today. Today's Sunday. We didn't run it, so. But yeah, we should. And next week is actually the Geo, so I don't think there's gonna be a weekly that day. But after that, there will be. So be there, be squared. Um, RTO.